What if I told you that the first woman accused of witchcraft in Ireland was not just a sorceress, but a wealthy widow whose husbands mysteriously dropped dead one by one? What if her story involved demons, poisons, and a servant burned alive in her place? This is the dark and twisted tale of Alice Kyteler, a woman who left an indelible stain on history and whose name still echoes in whispers of fear and intrigue. The rise of Alice Kyteler. Alice Kyteler was born into privilege in Kilkenny, Ireland, around the late 13th century. The daughter of Flemish merchants, Alice grew up in a world of wealth and opportunity. Her sharp intellect and cunning nature set her apart in a society where women were often relegated to the shadows. By the early 14th century, Alice had solidified her place in Kilkenny's elite, but not without controversy. Alice married not once, not twice, but 4 times. Each marriage brought her more wealth and influence, but it also left behind a trail of corpses. Her first husband, William Outlaw, died under circumstances that some whispered were unnatural. Was it merely bad fortune, or did something far darker stalk her footsteps? The pattern repeated with her second husband, Adam le Blund, followed by Richard de Vale, and finally John le Power. How could one woman endure so much tragedy without raising questions? These deaths didn't just add to her fortune, they fueled suspicions that still linger centuries later. That some whispered were unnatural. Her second husband, Adam le Blund, followed, then her third, Richard de Vale, and finally John le Power. Each death increased Alice's fortune, and each raised more suspicion. Rumors began to swirl. Was Alice simply unlucky in love, or was there something far more sinister at play? The accusations of witchcraft. In 1324, the whispers turned into outright accusations. Alice's stepchildren, furious over their father's deaths and their dwindling inheritances, accused her of using sorcery to murder her husbands. They claimed she practiced black magic, concocting potions and poisons to eliminate those who stood in her way. The accusations didn't stop there. Alice was said to have a demonic familiar named Robin Artis' son. This infernal entity, they claimed, appeared to her as a shadowy figure, assisting her in her dark rituals. Witnesses swore that Alice performed unholy rites, sacrificing animals and using their blood in her spells. They described her possession of enchanted powders and ointments, used to manipulate and harm those around her. One of the most chilling claims was that she had written a pact with the devil himself. Her accusers described ceremonies held in secrecy, where Alice and her followers worshipped Satan, seeking his power in exchange for their souls. The trial of Alice Kyteler. The case against Alice Kyteler was unlike anything Ireland had ever seen. Led by Bishop Richard de Ladrede, the trial was as much about politics and power as it was about religion. In an era when accusations of witchcraft were wielded as tools of control and fear, these charges carried profound implications. Bishop Ladrede was determined to make an example of Alice, to root out what he saw as a growing threat of heresy and witchcraft in Kilkenny. Alice's wealth and influence, however, proved to be a formidable defense. She had powerful allies who shielded her from immediate arrest, and her cunning allowed her to stay one step ahead of her enemies. But her luck couldn't protect those around her. Her servant, Petronella de Meath, became a scapegoat. Under torture, Petronella confessed to participating in Alice's rituals. She described horrifying ceremonies involving demonic invocations, animal sacrifices, and the use of enchanted tools. Her confession sealed her fate. On November 3, 1324, Petronella was burned at the stake, becoming the first person in Ireland to be executed for witchcraft. Alice, however, vanished. Before the authorities could apprehend her, she fled, possibly to England or beyond. Her disappearance only deepened the mystery surrounding her. How did she escape? Where did she go? And did she continue her dark practices in secret? Dark curiosities and untold mysteries. The story of Alice Kyteler is steeped in eerie details and unanswered questions, connecting deeply to broader themes of fear and power that gripped medieval society. Consider this: during the trial, it was claimed that Alice's home contained unholy artifacts, including remnants of sacrificial animals and a vial said to hold the fat of murdered infants. These accusations reflect not only a desire to convict but also the pervasive fear of the unknown and the otherworldly that defined the era. Were these items real, or were they a fabrication designed to exploit that fear and solidify the Church's power? There were also accounts of her incredible beauty and charm, which some believed were tools she used to bewitch her husbands and followers. This taps into a recurring narrative of women's influence being framed as dangerous or unnatural, a direct challenge to societal norms that sought to control female autonomy. Others whispered that Alice had unearthed forbidden knowledge, granting her power over life and death, a chilling prospect in a world dominated by religious doctrine. And then there's Robin Artist's son, the demonic figure alleged to be her companion. Was he a construct of her accusers' imaginations, a representation of their deepest fears of heresy and paganism, or was there something more to the tales? Some historians suggest Robin Artist's son could be linked to older pagan deities or spirits, symbolizing the lingering tension between ancient beliefs and the rising dominance of Christianity. This interplay of myth, religion, and power adds yet another layer of intrigue to Alice's enigmatic legacy. Legacy of Alice Kyteler. Today, Alice Kyteler's name is a symbol of defiance and mystery. Was she a victim of envy and religious zealotry, or was she truly a woman who dabbled in the dark arts? Her story forces us to confront the thin line between myth and reality, between fear and truth. Alice's tale also raises broader questions about the nature of power. She was a woman who lived boldly in a time when such ambition was dangerous. Her wealth and independence made her a target, but it also made her a legend. She didn't just survive, she thrived, bending the rules of her world until they broke. And yet, her escape leaves us with an unsettling thought: did she get away with it? Did Alice Kyteler, the alleged sorceress of Kilkenny, continue her life, and her dark deeds, far from the reach of justice? Conclusion. The story of Alice Kyteler is more than just a tale of witchcraft. It's a story of rebellion, resilience, and the enduring power of mystery. Over 7 centuries later, her name still evokes fascination and fear. Whether she was a villain, a victim, or something in between, one thing is certain: Alice Kyteler will not be forgotten. Was Alice Kyteler a misunderstood woman ahead of her time, or was she truly a master of the dark arts? Let us know in the comments below. And don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell icon for more. Until next time.